Oh, what is up, everybody? Life's Apprentice. Been a little while. Haven't been making a whole lot of videos. Been doing a lot of hunting. I've been putting a lot of work into my second channel, Wisconsin Outdoors. So that's where I've been. Haven't ran dumpsters in a couple of weeks. Today we're going to be running dumpsters, and the topic of today's video is going to be the biggest misconceptions and myths about the dumpster rental business. We're gonna get right into it right here with this truck. But this is one of the misconceptions that I see a lot, is that you need a diesel truck to haul dumpsters. Well, you do not. You do not need a diesel. We have one diesel and two gas trucks, and these gas trucks do it just fine. Now, the diesel is a little bit more powerful and tows a little bit better. So it is a better towing vehicle, but you do not need one. And right now, in today's day and age, with fuel prices, right now we're paying, I believe it's $5.19 for diesel, and gas is about $3.99. So there's a big cost increase, and I would say it might be the difference of $10 per dumpster, the difference just in fuel for the diesel to the gas truck. So that's one misconception and myth that I just busted for you. All right, let's go get our first picked up, and we'll talk about some of the other myths and misconceptions of the dumpster business. We got it picked up. We had to get a little creative there. It's pretty tight. We're in a mobile home park and short driveways. You can see I got our jackknife pretty good, and I could keep going. And this one absolutely drives me nuts, because I get asked and told this all the time as if that I'm doing something wrong, is that you need a gooseneck trailer to do this. From what I've seen, there are very, very few manufacturers that are making dumpster trailers that are not gooseneck. Now, the reason for this, I have no idea. I know for a fact that they're lesser quality than our trailer, a Nedlands trailer. But why in the world would you think that you need a gooseneck trailer? This one is something that just baffles me. I have people tell me that I need a gooseneck. Let's see, we have 3 of these trailers, and we've had this business for a couple years. We've ran almost 1,500 to 2,000 dumpsters with bumper pulls. Never had a single issue. So do you need a gooseneck? Absolutely not. They're gonna be heavier, so you can carry less weight. You're probably gonna get lesser fuel mileage with a gooseneck. The gooseneck is gonna take up the entire bed of your truck. So you can't have a topper, you can't have a tonneau cover. It's gonna take up room in the back of your truck. They're probably more expensive. There's no benefit to a gooseneck trailer whatsoever. And if you think that you can't jackknife this trailer like to 90 degrees, you 100% can. So gooseneck drives me absolutely nuts. One of the biggest misconceptions in the dumpster business. Well, we got that 15 yard to the dump and back to the yard. Now I just grabbed a 10 yard. I think that is another one of the misconceptions of the dumpster business, is that you need really big dumpsters to have a dumpster business. Now, having big dumpsters, you know, you are filling a need by having 30, 40, 50, 60 yard dumpsters, but most of the major dumpster companies do not have anything smaller than a 20 yard dumpster. Having small dumpsters can actually create a business, because you're offering a service that nobody else is offering. And for us, we have 10, 15, and 20 yards. They all sell, but like this 10 yard that I have on here, we have 4 10 yards. They are constantly sold, constantly. So having small dumpsters can be a good thing. I'm not saying you have to build a business based on that completely, but you don't need big, giant dumpsters to make a business in the dumpster world. Another one, I thought this is funny. I actually asked my subscribers what they thought were some dumpster misconceptions, just so I had some ideas for this video. I had some of my own, but one of them I thought was really funny was somebody said that the dumpster business is run by the mob. The dumpster industry and trash industry was essentially started by the mob. I'm sure there are still some ties, you know, as far as the mob and stuff like that go, but I don't believe that it's run by the mob anymore. Now, one thing that I think is kind of funny is if the business was run by the mob, I think it would be ran better, because I think the mob has more self-respect and dignity than some of these publicly traded gigantic companies. Go look up some of the waste management scandals and things like that, and look at the monopoly they have. They are just as bad or worse than mob-owned companies, in my opinion. But most dumpster businesses are owned by, you know, small businesses. In our area, we do have the, you know, the big guys, but the majority of my competition is locally owned small businesses. You need a dually. It kind of goes along with the old gooseneck thing. You need a dually and you need a gooseneck. No, you don't. No, you don't. And especially if you're trying to stay under CDL, like we do, you don't need either of those. And if you get a dually, in almost every case, you're going to be over CDL, so you're going to need a CDL. You do not need a dually, and you do not need a gooseneck to do dumpsters. Trust me. Okay where it's at?
Yep.
Yeah?
I thought I had to open the gate for you. I see you already opened it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I'll shut it when I'm done.
Well, it's got to be shut from it. Well, you shut it and we'll have to
lock it or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. People ask me and question this all the time, is that you need a CDL to do this. Now, the way that we do it, you do not need a CDL. There is a lot that goes into the business without a CDL. We need waste, you know, state waste numbers, permits, DNR numbers. We need DOT numbers. We need commercial insurance. We need a lot of things that a CDL driver would need. We do not need a CDL. And how we do this is we have a 10,000 GVWR truck and we have a 16,000 GVWR trailer. Now, that's six combined gross vehicle is 26,000. If we go to 26,001, we would need a CDL. Now, this does limit what we can haul. So like this truck, for example, weighs about 15,000 pounds empty with a dumpster on it and the trailer. So that limits us. We cannot go over that 26,000 pound. For one, we aren't rated for that. And for two, that would be CDL. So that allows us to carry roughly 9,500 pounds in this particular truck. But you do not need a CDL to do this business. I would say one of the other misconceptions about this business is that you need a hook lift truck. And I'm not against hook lift trucks or roll-off trucks of any kind for any reason. But I can tell you, in our area, all of the major competition doesn't use hook lift trucks. They actually all use cable trucks. So I think like the fact that hook lift is better than cable, in some senses it is, and in other senses I think it's not. The one thing I will say is, if you decide to get a roll-off truck, I don't really care what kind it is. And I'm not against hook lift. None of my stuff is set up for hook lift, so I would never get a hook lift for that reason. The hook lift thing and the gooseneck thing drive me absolutely nuts on YouTube, and the comments I get and stuff like that drives me absolutely nuts. There is absolutely really not a whole lot of benefit to a gooseneck or a hook lift versus a bumper pull and a cable pull. Now, you guys can leave your thoughts and opinions on that. That's my opinion. But I feel like everyone thinks you need to have a hook lift truck. I don't think that's the case. Many businesses out there are running and operating and making lots of money, and they don't have hook lift trucks. So that's another kind of a myth, I guess, or misconception. Cable pulls are just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Just picked up a 15 yard. The reason I'm not filming outside today, yesterday was like 74 degrees here, and right now the truck says it's 33, and it was colder earlier, and it's also really windy. I'm at a house here. I just picked up a 15 yard. We're gonna get that to the dump, and looks like we have a place to take it. I hear and see this from people saying this, is that the dumpster business is easy. When they hear these type of things, they think that it's a get-rich-quick scheme, and that it's just a mega profitable and just highly profitable, easy way to make just a ton of money. Nothing could be further from the truth. The dumpster business is pretty capital intensive to do it the right way and get started. It's fairly capital intensive. And when you're spending that amount of capital or taking on that amount of debt, it creates a lot of risk. And not only does it create risk, but it also makes the business less profitable. So for example, like our business, we have somewhere in the neighborhood of $300,000 to $400,000 invested into our business. Now, if you say it's $400,000 and you divide that money out over 10 years, that's $40,000 a year just to pay off the investment that we already made. That doesn't include any sort of interest, maintaining the equipment that we have, and growth, or, you know, getting new equipment. I'm not saying that the business isn't profitable. We have a profitable dumpster business, even with debt and with that investment, but it is very, very tough. The business is tough. All businesses are tough. And especially when you're first starting out, do not believe anyone who says that this is a get-rich-quick scheme, because it is not, and it is not an easy business. Now, there's definitely harder businesses out there, but it is a tough business. The other thing that I hear a lot is how much money you can make with 1, 2, or 3 dumpsters. There are almost no examples of people making a living with 1, 2, or 3 dumpsters. Almost zero, okay? And the people that are claiming to be making so much off of 1 dumpster are spending a crap load in advertising. If you're doing short-term rentals and making all this money, you have to do a ton of advertising to get that amount of customers for that 1 dumpster. You're constantly going to be behind, because if you have it rented every single day, you got to pick it up and move it so that you can get it out the next day. A lot of it, as far as the insurance and DOT and stuff like that, the people who are claiming to do this are not doing the business legitimately with legit W-2 employees and the right insurance and everything like that. The real way to make money in this business, and if you want to get into it and you really truly want to make a living, my belief is you need 5 to 10 dumpsters, and you're going to have to keep those 5 to 10 dumpsters moving pretty consistently in order to make a decent living. It can be done, but like I said, 1 or 2 dumpsters is not going to work for you. I'm sure there's examples out there of somebody doing it, but it is very hard to do. I would say nearly impossible. So do not think this is an easy business to make money in, and that you can make money with 1 dumpster. Not gonna happen. Tim and Laura were off today, and so me and Chelsea did the driving today. It's about noon right now, and we are both done. Business is kind of slowed down. You're gonna have that as we get closer to winter. But I have a few more misconceptions I want to talk about. One of them is the amount of maintenance that goes into vehicles. So for example, I've made a couple of videos with like overhead costs and stuff like that, and I had tons of comments that said that my maintenance costs were way too high and all this kind of stuff. In relative, like if you're just comparing to normal truck use, or you know, I don't know what these people are comparing my maintenance to, what they think the maintenance should be. Both of our trucks, we just had new tires put on both of our trucks, okay? We had, both of these trucks had brand new tires last year. So our tires on our truck lasted 12 months. Both trucks have had brake changes within 12 months. I would say each truck probably gets its oil changed 5 to maybe even 6 or 7 times a year. Like if you, not to mention any other issues with things breaking, or you also have to figure in the maintenance. My vehicle maintenance is for 2 trucks and 3 trailers. So I'm figuring in my trailers and the maintenance on those, say it be tarps, blowing hydraulic lines, having people grease the trailers and stuff like that. We don't do any of that ourselves. You could cut down those costs by doing some of this stuff yourself. The amount of tires that we go through, and you name it, the maintenance costs on a dumpster truck is a lot higher than normal use that you would be used to seeing. So that's a misconception. Even with brand new vehicles, you are going to spend a lot of money maintaining and just upkeeping your vehicles, even when they're brand new. Another, you know, maybe misconception at this point is that the dumpster business is saturated. There's too many people in the business and you can't start a business because it's saturated. Now, there are elements of truth to that. And we're noticing with increased competition, our numbers of rentals this year are definitely down. Now, that's not just increased competition. There are other factors at play as well. But in my opinion, there will always be room in every type of business, and the dumpster business is no different. There will always be room for good entrepreneurs. Now, if you're not fully committed and you are not serious about the dumpster business, then yeah, it's too saturated and you don't want to get into it. But if you are a good operator and a good entrepreneur, there will always be room in every business for good people. I think that pretty much covers most of the misconceptions and myths that I can think of in the dumpster business. I want your guys' thoughts. Leave them down below. Maybe there's something I missed. I'm sure there's a lot more that I did miss. These were some of the big ones that I thought were important to talk about. And but I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments down below. Now, as far as dumpster videos and stuff like that, I'm going to be probably doing a lot less videos at this point in the year. My construction business is winding down for the winter. The dumpsters are getting a little bit slower, and they will stay slower until probably March. So if you guys have ideas for videos for the future, I would love to make them for you. Leave your ideas down in the comments down below. I'm going to be putting a lot of time and effort into my other channel with hunting and fishing and all those types of things that I enjoy. I'm going to have a lot more time to do that now. So I'm going to be spending a lot more time making videos, and they will be posted over there. There's a link down in the description for Wisconsin Outdoors on YouTube if you guys want to go check it out. I appreciate you guys for watching, and if you like the content, leave me a like and subscribe if you haven't. That's it for this one. We'll see you on the next one.